Hello and welcome to Punks on Film. How's everyone doing? Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing great, getting ready for the season.
I can see that. I don't think I have. I do have a Christmas hat, but unfortunately, I didn't put it on because I didn't think about it till you showed up. I wore a whole. I do have. I think I do have a Christmas sweatshirt somewhere because I went to the skate. Every year they do like a Christmas skate thing and little video, and I went with a Santa Claus like mask and everything. But they have all this stuff that comes out, and the younger guys will put the stuff on. I'm not putting leggings on and stuff like that. But you guys are much better than me and have athletic ability still. So, uh, so how are you?
I'm doing well. I've got my '80s Christmas T-shirt on there with "Coming to America," Teen Wolf, Goonies, Back to the Future, Predator, Ghostbusters, Die Hard, Big Trouble in Little China, little figures on them.
Wow. So we're gonna be doing something a little different today. We didn't pick a movie out. What we are gonna be doing is kind of ranking a bunch of Christmas movies. Now, I thought Lawrence was giving me the help on the shelf. I'd say that's mean, but it's kind of par for the course now. What's funny is that when you guys finally do meet me, most of you, the first thing you're gonna say is, "Oh wow, you really are that short." Honestly, God, I meet people and they're like, "Oh wow, you really are that short." Like, did you think I was lying? I mean, like, it's not like I'm like sitting there saying that I'm short and then I show up I'm 5'9" and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm just kind of short." No, I'm short. The best story that I can say is when we were younger, we went skating at an old skate park, and this is when you always had to wear pads. And one of my good friends was like, he goes, "I know you're short, man, but," and I was, we were probably in our 20s, early 20s, and he's like, "I know you're short, but," he goes, "I didn't realize how short you were till I was looking for you, and I couldn't find you in the sea of all the kids that were here." Fatrid, I am 5'4" on a good day. So that's the best way that I can put it.
And Largo, I'm not stealing your bit. I've had this hat for 25 years, but I'm just letting you know, I'm not stealing your bit.
Well, you are in Texas, so you're allowed to wear cowboy hats. All right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be ranking some Christmas movies, and I know I'm going to miss some. Okay, I know that I'm going to miss some. I went with any movie that I really have seen or that I know. There's a lot of movies that I haven't seen, believe it or not. And
Wow,
if
so this list is going to be pretty short then.
it's going to be short, like me. Short is that's always my theme. Now, if you did put movies in the community tab where I asked for movies, I put your movie in here, except for Foxtrot, because he put about 25 movies in. And after a while, I'm like, I have no idea what some of these are, but I put a lot of his in there. So, yeah, so we're just going to be going through. And the way that we're going to do it is I have a PowerPoint here. We're just going to start with the first movie. And then we move on to the second movie and talk about it. We will move that if we think it's ahead of the other one or whichever ones are ahead of it. And then at the end, we'll have a ranking of about 25 different movies. And there are some that I know you haven't seen too. So, as we already mentioned, but you guys are here in the chat. There's 15 of you, so hit that like button if you haven't yet. But before we go on, have you been watching anything?
You know what? So my wife made me watch the new Doctor Who special.
Never watched Doctor Who, so I wouldn't even.
We love Doctor Who. The first 50 years of Doctor Who is absolutely amazing.
50 years.
Yeah,
It's like a soap
the
opera.
first. Well, I mean, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Amazing stories, amazing characters, amazing everything. Thank you, Largo. Appreciate it. But then shortly after the 50th, things took a turn for the worse, and then the writing got really bad. Unfortunately,
Bad
the
writing in
actor.
Hollywood?
No, this is the
Okay.
BBC.
Okay, in
So,
Bollywood?
yeah, not even no, not Bollywood.
I know.
But they changed it up, and then everything started falling apart, and then this special comes back, and the special was almost mediocre, but then they decided to turn it on its head, and it was just pretty bad. But um, for new stuff, we're still watching Bass Reeves. I like Bass Reeves a lot. That's a great show. Um,
Yep, I'm watching
we're
Bass Reeves.
we're catching up on the last season of Doom Patrol, which is wacky, crazy fun. It's like totally insane.
I don't have HBO Max anymore. I'm sorry, Max. Um,
Stupid. They changed that.
yeah, but I'm gonna have to get it because there's a bunch of stuff on there, that I gotta catch up on. So, uh, maybe sometime during the cold months, the holidays, when I know exactly how much the card took me. As of right now, it's going in dry. I can't even afford lube or condom, so it's gonna hurt. But yeah, I gotta catch up because there's a bunch of stuff on Max that I wanna get. Or
Max
shoot,
is one of the best streaming services out there, in my opinion. They have such a depth of content that it's
I
worth
agree.
keeping that one.
And it
And
was
quite
expensive.
frankly, yeah. And quite frankly, honestly, at this point, Paramount Plus does too because they have Taylor Sheridan, and he's making some of the best
That's
television right now.
that's what I was gonna go get rid of Paramount, and then I looked at it and I'm like, boom! I started watching all the stuff, including the new
Yep.
Frasier reboot. Or
Oh, I haven't started watching that. I saw the Night Court one. I like the Night Court one. Okay.
that's
How's the
an
Frasier?
NBC though, I think, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's different. So that's on broadcast. But
Okay.
how's the Frasier?
I enjoy it. I mean, it's completely different, but Frasier is Frasier. Uh, and I don't remember watching Frasier from the beginning, and uh, it finished the last episode, and it started with the first episode of Frasier, which I had never seen before.
Oh
And
well.
oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh no. Yeah.
Like when he
Uh,
when the whole like when his dad moves in, but he's like, Eddie, no Eddie. All he does is stare at me, and then it's like the next frame. I thought it was a stuffed animal dog staring at him, and I'm like, oh, I had tears in my eyes because I'm like, oh my god, because you could see then it move, and you're like, oh my god, dude, that's really the dog. Like it's not a stuffed animal yet. But
I remember him mostly from Cheers, but I
yes,
did like watching the Frasier TV show. I never remember watching all of it, but I'm pretty sure I saw the ending of it, and I think, yeah, I did like the show though. I thought it was hilarious.
yeah, I think his character. I mean, he may not be the greatest person in real life, but Friends. Cheers is a show that it is timeless because it's just people in a bar.
Yep.
So it
Well, and
doesn't
that's what
matter.
I think about Night Court also. I think Night Court
Yeah.
is the same way.
Yeah. So it's like you don't have to worry about the technology other than that,
Yep.
you know, the calling the bar. But hey, you know what? If you know your husband's at the bar and not answering his cell phone, you're gonna call the bar anyway. um, and the mail doesn't deliver, so it's all the same.
Yeah. James, did you know that Die Hard 3 was originally supposed to be Lethal Weapon 4?
And did you know Die Hard was supposed to be Commando 2?
Yes.
In a roundabout way.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in. Again, this is not about toys. This is movies. But I hope you stick around because we tend to have fun.
Well, and this is also not our normal kind of movie thing either. We're doing something
Yeah.
different tonight.
So, and it seems like there's more people sticking around. So, so I want to check something really quick. And okay, I'm just looking to see who's watching over on Punks on Film and who's actually over here. So if you
Largo, I agree with you. Those uh, Christmas specials were pretty phenomenal. I thought they did such a good job with those.
Um, yeah. So, and then the other show that I just watched, episode 10, is Bosch Legacy.
Oh yeah.
I really liked Bosch, and Bosch Legacy doesn't really make any sense. I mean, Bosch Legacy, like the show was called Bosch. Like,
Yeah.
if it would have been his partner, Eddie Legacy, it would have made more sense. Or Eddie, wasn't it? I don't know what his partner's name was, but either way, it's like, you know. So anyway, well, anything else?
No, we're just kind of catching up. We're actually going back. We're trying to get my daughter into watching Sequest DSV. We just started that tonight.
We Livy and I are still watching was it Born Chinese? Chinese Born on
Yeah.
Disney Plus. That's very interesting.
Okay.
Very. I mean, it's fun, and she enjoys it, and we kind of go back when she gets here, she'll remember that something's on. And the other thing that we watched was we started watching the second season of Santa Claus.
Oh yeah.
And so, okay, did anyone? Oh, God, what's the mysterious? It was on Disney Plus. Mysterious. It was like 4 kids. God, I can't think of the name of it because it's this really weird name, but they canceled it. But there was Constance that was on it, and she has this weird cadence in her voice.
Yeah.
And she's like the best character.
Yeah.
And we're watching the Santa Claus, and the moment I saw it, Olivia noticed it too, and she's like, oh, "It's Constance!" But yeah, so I think you and Largo watch the same shit, don't you?
Well, come on, man. Those DeLuise brothers try to put themselves in everything. As soon as one got a production job, their brothers were in that show. And quite honestly, I love Space Above and Beyond just for their parts.
Now I can't speak. What the hell are you doing, buddy? Yes. You guys know who that is, right? Listen, I can't speak on the dolphin from Sequest, but all I remember back when I think it'd be the 90s was watching Johnny Mnemonic, and we're like, the leader's a fucking dolphin? I was like, fuck this movie.
Oh man.
All right.
I do love the Doctor Who talk in the chat. I appreciate that.
The what?
The Doctor Who talk in the chat. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, you guys can chat about Doctor Who all you want. I won't be involved in that because other than knowing what it is and that they ride in a phone booth. And where's Superman going to change?
It's a police box. It's a police box. It's not a phone booth.
Okay, what's a police box?
It's a box to protect yourself if somebody's trying to mug you or something, so you can lock yourself in there, and it has a direct line to the police. They can come and,
Is it really?
get you. Yeah, so it's like to be protected or get away from danger. Yeah.
Why are there none of those in Detroit?
Because, well, London doesn't have them anymore either. It was a very short-lived thing that they had. Didn't really work well, I don't think.
Do they make them bulletproof?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the thing, right? I mean,
New York, Chicago, Baltimore, Detroit, LA. I mean, I can think of a few places that would probably need some like that.
Well, I mean, come on, man. They're ripping ATMs out of the wall. What do you think they're going to do to that police box if they're trying to get you?
Oh, especially if there's copper in it.
Right.
Any type of copper, they are pulling that stuff out there. You know what they actually have here in Detroit is they have these. If you have a green light on your business, it means there's a direct feed that goes right back to the police station, and there's cameras. So if someone tries to rob you, it's like a direct feed.
Uh-huh.
And when before my ex's brother had passed away, he worked in Detroit, knew a bunch of cops, and he was like, "Yeah, people just started putting the light on it. They would buy the light and put it on. So then they started getting robbed once they found out they didn't have a direct line back to it, and it was like it kind of defeats the whole purpose,
blew
but
me
you don't want to pay
away.
for it.
It blew me away that in the early 2000s, late 90s or whatever, that I heard about people ripping off copper to get scrap from it. They're tearing it out of
Oh.
air conditioning coils wherever they could get it. I was like, wow, really? That's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's so big and like you can't find copper anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I gotta go back and watch Johnny Newmont. Johnny,
It's been forever since I've seen that one.
I just remember. I can only remember watching it that one time, and I was so like, and this was when no one respected Keanu Reeves. He was
Right.
just he was the exact same actor in every single movie that he did.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a
Dude.
better actor now, but he's such a good guy. It seems that you want to like him. And let's be honest, his John Wick movies are just fucking awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, I watch some of his older movies, and you're like, these are really. I mean, he actually is a pretty good actor, but he's the same character.
He
I mean,
was a very similar character in a lot of different things.
Yeah, I mean, even John Wick, he's the same person. He just kills.
Yeah.
But it's so awesome, and I wouldn't change it. All right, so let's get into this. And now I just as I did this, however they landed. It was the order when I cut and pasted these. So I think what is the funniest thing about this is, even though we did the movie, I've never seen it all the way through. That is Lethal Weapon. I was not on this one. You did this with Ed, I believe, correct?
No, it must have been Tony.
Tony? Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen enough of it. I would not have remembered that it was a Christmas movie, but it was thrown up there numerous times. It shows up on all the lists.
Yeah, the house is all decorated. They got the Christmas tree in the front foyer, and they got the music playing at the beginning.
Yeah, and that's what I know. A lot of people don't want to make every movie that takes place at Christmas a Christmas movie, but technically, it is a Christmas movie if it takes place at Christmas.
Doesn't matter if it comes out in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, especially if it revolves around what's happening at Christmas. That goes back to the whole Die Hard thing, where even though Bruce Willis said it's not, it literally revolves around Christmas. The only reason why he's there.
Yeah, they open with Christmas music. He's going there for the Christmas holiday, you know?
Which I don't know why we're talking about it. We will get to that one eventually. So what is your guys' thoughts on this? Is obviously number one to begin with, and you can already see what's coming next. So I can say that the big guns are right at the beginning.
Yeah, the big guns. Okay, good. You know, as a Christmas movie, it's not a great Christmas movie. I mean, it's a cop thriller action thing with our beloved Gary Busey. Poor bastard.
Well, James Lucas says Gary Busey shooting the house yelling "Merry fucking Christmas." So it is somewhat of a Christmas movie, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be high on my list for Christmas movies, but yes, it is worth watching in the season.
All right. Well, it obviously stays at number one till we get to.
You're right, Down South. It is one of the best buddy cop movies. That and 48 Hours are top of my list.
And when we do buddy cop movies, we can do that. Which I've seen neither one of those movies, so.
we might have a difficult time doing 48 Hours. There's a lot of language that YouTube does not like in that movie. I'm just saying.
But we could do a lit. I kind of like to. We'll see how this goes because I kind of like.
Yeah.
All right. So Gremlins. Now I think a lot of people forget this is a Christmas movie.
I put Gremlins a lot higher on my Christmas list movie because the first time I got my daughter to watch it was during a Christmas time when she's only now, so you can imagine the trauma that I put my daughter through. But she likes it, especially the second one's funny. But
I think it's like, even though the Gremlins are kind of creepy, you always have Gizmo to offset it. Like he's always going to offset it no matter what, and he's way cuter than Grogu. I mean, Grogu's just
Oh, by far.
he's just a bald green version of him.
Yep.
Um,
Grogu's a ripoff.
but I think a lot of people forget this is a Christmas movie. But what makes it a Christmas movie more than anything is when she tells the story about how her dad was acting as Santa Claus coming
Oh yeah,
down
that was so dumb and creepy.
like fair chimney.
Right. Yeah. I disagree, Eric. Good, but barely stands the test of time. I think the special effects in Gremlins were pretty good with the animatronics and the puppets and the gooey stuff and everything. I don't think they did a good job with it.
When he wakes up and all those pods are there,
Yep.
like you didn't look at those pods and you went, oh, that's just rubber.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they were like boiling over, or when they jump in the water.
Yep.
Yeah, like, so can we say this can be moved up past Lethal Weapon?
I would put it above Lethal Weapon.
And don't worry, guys, it's not going to say number one. But, oh boy, here's Allison already.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Gremlins reminds me of my ex's little cousin when we went to the family reunion, although the Gremlins had better manners and probably had taken a bath more recently. Well,
Ooh.
the Gremlins wanted to take baths anytime they could because then they would multiply.
Awesome, James. I'm going to be watching it pretty soon, I'm sure.
I can't tell you the last time I watched Gremlins. But the movie is so good because the whole story of like of the one guy constantly telling his wife and everyone about gremlins and no one believes him. And then you realize like, oh, he actually dealt with these things. It wasn't just he was crazy.
And I brought it up on Silver Bullet because there's that one scene in Gremlins that makes me laugh so hard that when I saw that wheelchair that slides up the staircase, I thought of the scene from Gremlins when the little lady gets shot right out her front window.
So let me tell. So side story now. So about 6 months after I was born, my grandfather was paralyzed in a. He was a plumber, and an I-beam fell, hit him on the head, but he was in a ditch, so he was paraplegic from the time I can remember.
Wow.
And things got worse, obviously. And he lived 11 years. He died literally a year right before my mom did, but. The condo that we grew up in was their old condo. Then when my grandmother bought a new house and moved him there, she let us stay there. But we had one of those. And as a kid, you always wanted to play on it, and you always got always got yelled at. But let me tell you something. Those things were slow.
Yep.
I mean, so slow, which I laugh at that part all the time because I'm like, Tim Allen, the Toolman Taylor could not make that thing go fast enough to shoot through the wall like it did, right? Those things are just so fucking slow. But every time I see it, I am just remembered getting yelled at for trying to ride down. You're a kid, like it's there. Like I want to ride, even today when I see one.
Yeah. Always wanted to watch Gremlins at Halloween, but it always save it for December. Yeah, because it's got snow. It's more Christmassy.
Yeah, there's nothing Halloweeny about it. Like,
right.
You know, I know you don't like the movie. E.T. is Halloween. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it totally is.
And as we all know, E.T. saw Yoda, and we found out in The Phantom Menace. Was it The Phantom Menace? Which one was it where we see the ETs?
No, it was Attack of the Clones, I think, because they had to vote at the Senate. Yeah, yes. So they're part of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. So when ET saw Yoda, he actually knew who he was.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, right there. It is.
Yeah, and it probably was trying to figure out why he has toys.
Jim, that is one of the best William Shatner episodes of Twilight Zone. That's a wonderful classic episode of Twilight Zone with the gremlin. And that was the traditional usage of the gremlin. I love all those original Twilight Zones. They are amazing.
I remember. You know what I would love to do? I would love to binge watch the Twilight Zones and Alfred Hitchcock Like,
Oh yeah.
do like a series, like do a ranking of those, because Alfred Hitchcock still to this day holds
Dustin
up.
says it was the Phantom Menace. I just remember more Senate scenes in the later movies, but it probably
Yeah,
was.
they might have been in the Phantom Menace. What you're thinking about is when they do the election. Yeah, and
Yeah,
she does.
the emergency powers thing, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, we're stupid. All right. So Gremlins
What's
gets
up,
moved up.
JLS? Hey, what's up, JLS? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in.
All right. Well, this one's going right up to number 1 right off the bat for me. And this one may hang up there. I love Christmas Vacation. I think there's so much stuff. I don't know too many people that don't love this.
I don't understand how you cannot, especially as you get
Okay.
older and you understand the plight of Clark, and the difficulties and the challenges he had with hosting all those people for Christmas every year. If you've ever hosted Christmas at your house with a large group of people, you would understand this man's insanity and frustration, especially with yuppie neighbors.
Okay, you scared me because when you said, "I'm sorry, I just don't understand," I was like, "Dude, you're gonna tell me you don't like this fucking movie." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, our one of our old owners, because we used to have 2 owners. One day he made us, because he wouldn't stop talking about this movie. He made us watch it at lunch. So we had like a 2-hour lunch. He made us watch it. We'd all seen it. It's not like none
Yeah.
of us had never seen it before, because it's on all the time. And I'm not going to complain if you're going to make me watch Christmas Vacation and
Right.
get paid for it. But
Right. Exactly.
I'm with you. And the stress, like again, like right now, the stress that my car is in the shop and I still have
Yep.
Christmas, the stress that he already like put a down payment on this pool and he's going to do all this stuff. And then he gets, what was it? It wasn't cake of the month, pie of the month. What was it?
Jam.
Jam. That's even worse. Jam.
Yeah, exactly.
But everything about this movie is hilarious.
Yeah,
When
no, it's so good.
when the lights are going on and off, when he finally loses it and starts
Yep.
breaking, like how many times have we broken something that instantly we went, that was a
Yeah.
mistake.
Yep.
And so for me, this is seriously one of I still think one of the
You
best
know, it's
Christmas
classic.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it's classic.
it probably wouldn't be number 1 for me, but I think some of these are going to be really hard to.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Have you seen is it NECA that's doing it?
Yes.
Who's doing the Clark?
Yep. Well, last year NECA was it NECA? I thought was supposed to have these come out, and they didn't
Oh,
come out
okay.
before Christmas. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I don't want it now.
Well, they did a Christmas Story and Home
Yep.
Alone, right? Yeah.
But I think they all got released either right after Christmas or like right before Christmas.
I didn't see them till the summer, so
Okay. And that's what I thought, that they came out like after.
yeah.
And then the neighbors that are going nuts. And when everything goes wrong
Love
in the
it.
house and the ice shoots into it,
I
I
love
mean,
it's just so perfect.
and
Everybody
the
hates the
actors,
yuppies.
yeah, those
Yeah.
actors played it absolutely perfect. Nobody, we already did this. So, all right, so we're gonna move this one up to number 1 for right now, because again, I think this is a class. I think this is one when you, again, if it's on, you pretty much stop and watch it.
Yeah, no, it's too good not to.
All right.
Yeah, no kidding. Every time you're in the RV.
And he was brilliant as Cousin Eddie. Like, just brilliant.
No, it was perfect. The Cousin Eddie thing, you just can't go wrong with that one. That was just hilarious.
And then he took that character and took it over to Independence Day.
No, that's more of actually who that guy is, if you know anything about him. But
and the other thing about Cousin Eddie is that he really wasn't being like a dick.
No.
He really thought what he was doing was helpful. He thought he was helping. Although
Well,
he didn't understand getting his kids Christmas gifts was important, but
well, yeah, and I, I don't necessarily see it as he was really trying to deliberately take advantage of his brother, but at the same time, he was just saying, "Hey, this is where we're at.
yeah.
Whatever." Oh, thanks. Let's throw the dog food on top of the light bulbs.
The Muppet Christmas Carol. Now, this one got brought up, if I remember correctly. I'm like, all right, well, let's listen here. I'm sure that I've seen this, but it's been a long time. I can't say I really remember it.
It's good. It's a part of those Muppet classics. It's not my favorite Muppet version by any means. When we talk about Scrooge stories, there's a Doctor Who one that I love, and there's the Bill Murray Scrooged one, and then there was one that came out last year with Ryan Reynolds and what's his name, Elf, where what's his name? What is his name? Oh gosh,
this is when I'm supposed to ask you it. See,
yeah.
People understand this is what happens when you're on the spot. Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. So I think Will Ferrell. Yeah, thank you. Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds did a Scrooge movie where Will Ferrell plays the original Scrooge, trying to make penance by being the ghost that comes to present the three ghosts are coming for you judgment type of thing, to try and change somebody. It's really kind of funny. It's kind of a cool story, but
I want to say this: whenever you watched a Scrooge movie or TV show or whatever, because it's almost always set back in time, it seems so peaceful, and you're like, it would be nice for just a week at Christmas, like things could be that peaceful, and there could actually be snow on the ground. Not that you guys know what snow is.
I'm not originally from Texas, so I've
Well,
been around. I do.
I'm saying you don't know what snow is over there. Like you don't
correct.
get snow there.
No, we get ice.
And yeah, and I can say this: like it gets cold here, and half the time there's no snow, and I'm like, you know what? If it's gonna be cold, just give me some snow, because at least there's a reason for it. So, I think most Muppet movies are actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, they do a good job with humor for kids and adults. I think they put a lot of stuff in there. I do like the Muppet movies, and I would put this one below Gremlins, but
And I think what you have already said is that like Lethal Weapon is, even though it is a Christmas movie, it's more of a buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to take offense if something gets put above it. It's not saying that's a worse movie. Remember, these are Christmas movies. So Dustin Jeffrey says Animal is the party at Fozziwig's.
Yeah, Animal's awesome. He's my favorite Muppet.
Is he? Yeah. So Eric is asking, is Animal not in it?
No, he's in it.
Yeah, he's almost in everything, right? I mean, they don't really leave out the main ones.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
All right, so we'll move this one up to third place. And again, we get nothing for this. So don't get mad at us at the end when there's rankings, because you're going to say this movie was left off and that movie was left off. All right, so I only put one Santa Claus on because I think after a while they have a TV series about it. I like Tim Allen, partially because I'm from Michigan, and he is one of the few people that will represent where he's from.
Yeah.
As we know, most people in Hollywood just all of a sudden they move to LA and they're LA. They forget everywhere they came from, except when their sports teams are doing good.
What? No, even then, they still ignore anybody who's ever their friend before. That's just a fact with LA people.
Yeah, but when their sports teams are doing good, like let's say when the Patriots were doing good, like you were super supportive of them, but when you're not,
Yeah,
you're like, I love the Rams.
yeah, I could see that. Yep. Yeah,
um,
you see a Digital Diarrhea's comment there. I can't find it to highlight it, but he says he thinks that Lethal Weapon is a better Christmas movie than Die Hard. Hmm.
oh,
I don't know. I think Die Hard has more Christmas themes than Lethal Weapon does.
where is that at?
It's on the Punks on Film channel, but I don't know if it was populating here or not.
It should be. Well, damn it, Digital Diarrhea. Oh, it must be really far back. Yeah. Well, you know what? When we get to Die Hard, oops, did I let it slip? Die Hard was
Oh,
on here.
oh no! Big surprise.
Again, I think that's gonna be a big topic of what is Die Hard really a Christmas movie?
Right.
I believe it is. And Payne seems to agree. Die Hard greater than Lethal Weapon, but we have not gotten there. But let's talk about the Santa Claus. I assume you've seen this.
Oh yeah, I've seen all of them and the TV series subsequent. And
I think they're pretty good.
I really love the father-son connection in this. I think that they did a good job of showing this fractured family and the father-son relationship and how it changes. Um, and him trying to integrate back into the world and being Santa Claus and everything. I thought they did so many good things with this series that I do like it a lot.
I'm with you with the whole family, where you really see, you have the stepdad that's really trying to push him out so he can kind of start his own family with them. Again, something I'll never understand completely, but whatever. Um, and he's just there's dad, and anyone that's been single as a single father knows, like sometimes you have to fight for your time, at least at the beginning. Again, I have a good relationship with my ex, but it wasn't so easy at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of parents that they have to do this, and it's nice to see that side. But trying to explain that he's Santa Claus, uh, I love the way they explain that he goes down the chimney. To me, it's just it worked. It was fun, and I think Tim Allen is hilarious.
Yeah, I've always liked Tim Allen. His stand-up comedy routines were hilarious, and then Tool Time, and then these other things that he had going. I've always appreciated his humor.
Yes. So would you say above Lethal Weapon?
Oh yeah, I would say I'd put it above Gremlins.
I was gonna say the same thing. Uh, as much as I like Gremlins, I think Gremlins becomes more of a comedy horror movie.
Yes.
Um, but it is still definitely a Christmas movie.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that. So, and well, someone said it before I did. Plus 15. Yes, he had a
Yeah.
few
But
run-ins with the law here.
yeah. Well, and you know what? I love the fact that how he came back from that is he owned it. It's
Yes,
like this was my life. This is I made these mistakes, and he took responsibility for it, and he tries to make himself better. I think that is that redemption arc, that whole idea of yeah, I messed up, and then moving forward is always a good attitude because you can't forget that those things happened.
and the other thing that he did in his last TV series, which was what's the last one that he was in, where he's in Denver. Uh, God, I know not everyone liked it. It was basically, oh God, someone's gonna be able to tell me what it was. But he brought in old actors that he was
Yeah.
on with. There was references to Toy Story. There was
Yep.
references to Santa Claus. There was references to him
Yep.
actually in it. Uh, and the one after it got canceled because he's very conservative, and Fox brought it back. They had no problems ripping on that network for what they
Yeah.
did, even though it was one of the highest rated shows that they had.
Yep.
So again, I have a lot of respect for him. That he just stands up for who he is, but he doesn't like he hasn't forgotten all the other things that he did. And like you said, he stood up to like, hey, you know what? This is what I did. I made mistakes. So again, all right. We'll scroll down here. And I'm just gonna say it. I've never seen it.
Oh man.
I mean, I know what it is. Okay. I'm not saying I've never seen it on TV, but I've never sat down and watched it. So I'm gonna let if you've seen it and the rest of the chat kind of discuss this one.
I love this movie. As having a daughter, well, I'm going to brag a little bit. As smart as she is, having this kind of back and forth with a little girl, being raised by a single mom in that day and age, and raising her to be logical and methodical and not believe in fantasy or fairy tales because there was no time for that, and then to be having her eyes opened up to there is a Santa Claus. There is magic in the world still. There is something else, no matter how hard your life is, that there is something special out there that can make a difference in your life. There's a lot to this movie that is underneath the surface, that brings a lot of joy to a lot of people. Now, the colorized version, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Go with the black and white. But it really is a good movie, and in my opinion, one of the best Christmas movies ever.
So I gotta say this here. I always love this movie. It's my favorite serious Christmas movie. I don't think any movie conveys the believing part more than this. I gotta disagree with you because you know what? Do you not remember the singing part in Elf? You can't believe more than if you sing Christmas song. And Largo, 34th Street Santa is one of my favorite portrayals. Very classic. I mean, again, I've seen it. I mean, I've seen him before, and I would have to agree with you. Like that's how you picture your classic Santa Claus to look. That's how you wanted your Santa Claus at the mall to look.
Well, I love the fact that the whole intro into the movie is the Macy's Day Parade, and he's coming along, and the Santa Claus is drunk off his ass, and he beats the shit out of him because he's drunk off his ass, and he's supposed to be presenting in front of all these kids, and he gets hired on the spot because, well, he had the beard. He looked like Santa Claus because he is Santa Claus, and they put him in the Macy's Day Parade, and the movie goes on from there. And there's a scene where this little Dutch girl gets adopted by this family, and she doesn't speak any English, and goes and sits on Santa's lap, and he has a whole conversation with her in Dutch. There's another scene with like a deaf girl, and he starts signing to the deaf girl. And so he speaks multiple languages. He can sign. He becomes the best, store Santa Claus that anybody's ever seen because he is. And I thought those were really impactful scenes. I thought it was a really cool idea. So this is going to be, above all the rest, in my opinion.
Ooh, above all of them?
All of the ones we've gone through so far, absolutely. For me.
Now, as someone that's never seen it.
Yeah, I know you're probably not going to be able to put it above Christmas Vacation, but
yeah,
you should watch it with your sometime.
I'm not saying that. I don't think so. Chat, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that it should go above Christmas Vacation? I'll give you. If the chat says that it should, if we get more people, if not, I'm going to say it needs to be below Christmas Vacation, but because I don't think Christmas Vacation is the best yet. But
no, it's not the best yet. But
so Dustin Jeffrey says second.
Okay.
Are
you saying you're seconding what I'm saying, or you want it number 2?
Or do you have to go number 2?
Oh well, hey, no, I mean that's TMI.
Down South says, I love it so much, but it's below Christmas Vacation. Largo
Okay.
says, I'm a sucker for classic black and white. 34th needs to be second.
Okay.
Um, all right, so I think
It
most
looks like
people
we
are
got a lot of
saying,
people saying it should be number 2.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean it's
Okay.
number 2. Doesn't mean it's a number 2, but all right. And I have no problems with it because I know that it is a classic. If you try to put Krampus, even though I haven't seen it, up at like number 1, number 2, you're definitely gonna have an issue. And I'm gonna say it again. I have
Oh,
not seen it.
seriously, man, where are you, man? You know how this movie got to be so popular? This movie was one of the biggest box office flops that ever hit the movie theaters at that time. And the only reason that it ever got popular was 20 years later, it was public domain and everybody had the rights to it. So every single channel started playing it at Christmas time because it was basically low cost programming that you could put on your TV. And that's when everybody started watching it. And then everybody fell in love with it because it has this incredible story about PTSD, about a guy coming back from war, having his family, having this business that he didn't get to go to war, right? So he had to take care of the business, and he was always the only guy who could do it, and so he had to do it and had to do it and had to do it, and he took care of everybody. But you have he was the actor was suffering from PTSD coming back from the war while making this movie, and so he was having some real issues on top of it, and this movie affected him as well. And then the angel that comes in and sits on his shoulder and talks him through everything, and helps him out, and it's a really interesting perspective. What if you were never born? How would the world be different? And that whole idea is a really interesting story to think about, all the lives that we affect that we don't even think about, and what a difference that we make in people's lives. So I mean, this is a great movie.
And again, I'm not saying it's not a good movie. It's just one of again, it is like Indiana Jones. I just never got around to stopping to watch it. Um, I highlighted that already.
No, sorry.
While you were talking. um, like I said, I know it's a classic. I know it ranked high when I was, looking up different movies and stuff like that. And it's definitely, I mean, I would have thrown this one in there even if someone else had not like suggested it because
Right.
I know it's a classic. So I'm gonna let you in the chat decide. Uh, Again, I'm gonna think it's under number 1 just because. Uh, the
I can't really disagree with you there. Is that I love Married with Children too. I think there's a lot of great stuff there.
you know what that I know a lot of people say like, hey, a show can't be done. This show couldn't be done today, but look at the shows that are being done today. It's Always Sunny, South Park. There are shows that cross it, but that is one show that it definitely would not be on a Sunday on Fox. Well, okay, so Patrick thinks that. Well, we haven't even got to Die Hard yet. That's still. You can see it's coming up, but. Well, so Eric says Christmas theme versus Christmas time movies. What?
You know what? I don't know. This is still Christmas themed because it does revolve around Christmas. It's not just a Christmas time movie. But
So I'm gonna let you guys decide. You already know I don't think it's number 1 yet. He says top 3 movies. Like I said, I'm willing to go as high as number 2. If you guys think it's number 1, then that's fine. Because I mean, I can look at Gremlins and know, okay, this is probably a better Christmas movie just in general. Is below. Ooh, wow, that's when you say below. I'm assuming you mean it shouldn't move. Is that what you read it like that too, right?
Yeah,
All right.
maybe I misunderstood. The
Well,
way you
Largo
typed
already
it,
said that it's his favorite movie, so we know it's top three for him.
I would put this, in my opinion, I don't know. This and Miracle on 34th Street are pretty darn close for me. Um, I would have to put it as number 3 for me right now.
So okay, so I guess it's up to you guys, 2 or 3. You're thinking 3? To me, even though I've never seen the movies, I always think of those two movies together.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so closely tied together because also black and white. So, all right, let's do number 3, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm perfectly fine understanding that even though I haven't seen certain movies, um, they're better than. All right, so here's the controversial one. Bruce Willis said this is not a Christmas movie. Bruce Willis is wrong. I don't care that it's his movie. He is literally there for Christmas.
Yep.
It's the only reason why he's
It's
there.
a winter movie.
You know, he is there for Christmas.
Yep.
So, it's one of the best action movies you're going to see. And it was the first action movie that I can remember where the hero wasn't jacked up on steroids or growth hormone.
Yeah, so he definitely, I mean, on purpose, he changed the kind of narrative for the action hero, and that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get away from Jean-Claude, Sly Stallone, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was trying to be the everyman, and that's why he was actually cast in the role. Why it actually worked is because he was just the normal guy.
This is so Die Hard with Bruce Willis and Die Hard. It is kind of like Michael Keaton as Batman, the moonlighting guy.
Yep, the moonlighting guy, exactly.
He's an action. Yeah, no. And again, Mr. Mom is Batman. Like
Mr. Mom, I remember that headline. I remember that
Yes.
headline. Mr. Mom plays Batman.
So when you see Die Hard, I mean, the first thing you thought was the guy from Moonlighting that was always trying to sleep with Sybil Shepherd.
Yep.
Like that's what I thought of. And then you see him in that wife beater, and you're like, dude, the guy can't beat up no one. And then you see the movie, and you're like, all right, well, it doesn't matter how big you are if you're shooting people. Unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, then the bullets just bounce off you. We have determined that in movies that we've done.
Well, clearly, because I mean, he can lift entire tree trunks on his shoulder. So
Yes.
Yeah.
You were highlighted.
Same time. That's good. You know what? Alan Rickman, he's amazing.
Yes.
You know what? I just watched Minty's video on the 10 things you didn't know about Die Hard this morning. And I gotta say, or Die Hard 3, I should say. Jeremy Irons did a great job being Hamza's brother. I think
that's my
Die
favorite.
Hard 3.
That's my favorite of the movies.
Yeah, Die Hard 3 is most definitely the best sequel of Die Hard that they've ever made, and as some people say, even better. But there's so many amazing things in that movie. It's awesome. I love that.
I know this is about Christmas movies. Die Hard 2 was just a remake of Die Hard, but in an airport.
At Dulles Airport. I mean, come on. I grew up at that airport.
But Die Hard 3 was awesome because, in my opinion, they were just using him because of what had happened twice before to get what they needed. It wasn't he just happened to be there to solve it. It was, we're going to use him as the whole complexity of everything so we can do what we need to do.
So every single Die Hard, well, the first 3 Die Hard scripts were repurposed from other movies. They were supposed to be completely different movies, and they got repurposed into Die and then the second one, and even the third one was supposed to be Lethal Weapon 4. And so they've repurposed these things so many times to try and figure out where they go.
Yes, as JLS said, one of the villains literally yells "Merry Christmas" at one point. Yep. I think I
Yeah.
might have just watched the Minty thing.
Yeah.
Did he just put that out, or is that an older one?
No, he put out the Die Hard with a Vengeance one, I think this morning or maybe
Okay.
yesterday. Yeah,
I
no,
think I
that
watched the
one's
Die
new.
Hard one with his. Yeah, Fatrid says it perfect here. Like, I think Die Hard 3 brought the story full circle. Like, you didn't need any more after
Yes,
that. It was done.
correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely correct.
and
After watching all 5 Die Hard movies, there are only really 2 that I care to watch again.
and the other thing was when they start linking everything and they're like, this is Hans Gruber's brother. Then you find
Mhm.
out I didn't give a shit. Like, he didn't give a shit about him.
No.
Like, he didn't give a shit about him. It was just like, I can use this
Yep.
to get what I need.
Yep.
You
As soon as
know?
they figure out who I am, they're going to focus on that while I'm doing this. So it's another level of distraction that he was using to accomplish his goal.
And here, he meant ho ho ho, not hi ho, but I have a machine gun. Exactly. How can you say it's not a Christmas movie when you're literally
Yep.
quoting Santa Claus?
Yep.
So maybe
Oh, and you know the ending of Die Hard 3 was supposed to be totally different, and it was really kind of morbid and twisted because Jeremy Irons was supposed to get away with the money. McClane was supposed to be kicked off the force, and said, "Hey, you're unstable. We can't deal with you." And so he goes down and hunts down Jeremy Irons later and kills him in a revenge plot. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't John McClane. None of this makes sense. So they threw all that out and created the ending that they did. They had to reshoot that entire ending that they did, so they spent another boatload of money to do that.
and it may be the only movie where someone could have called black people that word
Yes,
and
yeah,
Sam Jackson not kill them.
and Sam
Where
Jackson
he actually
didn't
goes
kill
to
them.
save
Yes,
them. All right. which that right there is one of the like still holy shit moments in a movie.
yeah, no kidding.
You know,
Still to this day, it is so like, don't do
yes,
that.
like Luke finding out about his father.
Yep.
To me, the Sixth Sense when the girl goes across and then she's, I don't get creeped out, but then that's still an oh shit moment. Captain America, we were just talking Captain America getting Mjolnir, but when he turns around, even to this day, you're like, nope.
Nope.
And I would say that's probably one of the parts in the movie that could not be shown on basic television.
Yeah. Yep.
But where would we rank Die Hard, the first one?
I am gonna put it above Gremlins.
So below Santa Claus.
Yes.
Well, I love. I'm sorry. The way Samuel L. yells at him, like what is he like Zeus, like I'll shove a lightning bolt up your ass. Yeah, like again, not even this movie, but hey, would you expect anything else from this channel? All right, so I would say I would agree with you ahead of Gremlins. It is a Christmas movie, but it's not a. I think all the ones above it are pretty much feel good Christmas movies.
Yeah, and for my definition of the top Christmas movies, they have to be family friendly and invite everybody in. It's a all ages, from grandma to the 3 or 4 year old watching it type of movie. And Die Hard is amazing, and I love it as a Christmas movie. But you just can't share it with everybody in the family right away because there's all that violence and all that other stuff, which I love, but doesn't go as well with a Christmas movie.
I'm sorry.
No, I just highlighted that.
Oh, did you? Now I'm like, dude. Now I'm stuck on like thinking of all the stuff that Samuel L. Jackson yells at him, all about the name. All
I
right.
know a lot of you guys want Die Hard to be number one, but you got to think about Christmas themes.
I don't think it's even close to being number one.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't either. Just because of the things that I just listed.
Yeah.
You know,
But it doesn't mean that it's not better than some of the movies that it's below, but as a Christmas
correct.
movie.
Agreed. Agreed.
I hate this movie. I I hate Macaulay Culkin. I hated the whole premise.
Now, have you seen the movie Dogma?
It's been a while.
But there's a line in there that Selma Hayek says, and she's talking about
I would put
she
listen. I would put Dogma as number one just because Salma Hayek,
right,
and it's not even
but
Christmas, except for
but as she is inspiration, right? That's kind of her thing. She says, "I'm responsible for 3 of the 4 highest grossing films of all time," and they go, "Well, which ones?" And they start naming some, and they're like, "Home Alone." And says, "No, that was the other guy." As in Satan.
uh, so Liquid Identity says you're not alone, Lawrence. Home Alone is staying on. I hate it, and the fact that they made more, and then they made one without him.
Yeah, no, I mean, it launched this kid's career. He became this icon that eventually fell apart and is now on Red Letter Media videos on YouTube.
My 17-year-old wouldn't make it. All right.
I have never had much love for this movie. I watch it and I enjoy watching it, but it's not one of those things that's even on my radar to put up as a Christmas movie. I just think that the humor, the message in it all is just mean, and I don't think that fits Christmas very well.
It instantly gets turned off anytime I see it on. I don't want to watch it. I
Yeah.
don't find it funny. How do you
No.
forget your kid? I don't care how many kids you have. How do you forget one of your kids?
Exactly.
I mean,
Like you said,
to get onto the fucking plane, all right?
Yep.
Like, I understand you're in the car
from
and
the
you're like,
premise
oh,
onwards. From the premise onwards, the whole thing is this negative kind of bashing trope, and then the violence and it's just mean. It's just flat out mean.
okay. I am not saying that it's not more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard, but it's just an awful movie. So it
I
is
would
not going
say-
above Die Hard.
I would say that it is much less of a movie than Christmas movie than Die Hard because of the meanness. There is no Christmas spirit in this movie. Everything is about selfishness in this movie, and it is the commercialization of Christmas that thrives in this movie, and that's why it made money and almost because it's about the commercialization. It's not about what Christmas is about in any shape of the word. I think it's just mean.
And what I am seeing here is that there's a lot of people that don't like this, but there are a bunch of people that really do like this movie. This is, I guess, that truly like that split movie. I don't see anyone like saying, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh, I love this movie. It's great, or it's awful. Um,
You filthy animal. Yeah, I know. The movie that they were watching on TV was better than this one. I'm just saying.
so I wouldn't put it above any of these movies.
No, I would not either.
Not even the movies that I haven't seen. All right.
Yeah.
And sorry, down south, but it's staying here. All right. And I'm willing to bet it's going to go lower than 9. So this was one that I kind of forgot was a Christmas movie, or I guess you could say Christmas themed movie. Was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Now, if you have not seen this movie, I only saw this movie because when they were talking about Robert Downey Jr. getting the Iron Man role, they said that this was the movie that made people, made them want to cast him again.
Hmm.
Have you seen this movie before?
It has been like forever since I've seen this movie. I don't remember much about it.
This is a really good movie. Um, Gay Val Kilmer is awesome. Uh, and I only say that because it's part of the storyline.
No, yeah, yeah. No, I
I mean,
remember
he's known
that.
as the gay bodyguard. Like,
Right. Yeah.
um, it's a much newer movie. It basically
Yeah.
just takes place during Christmas. Um, but when it when I was looking for top Christmas movies, I would never put this one on had I not seen it on the list and went, "Oh yeah, I do remember
Hmm.
everything." But basically, what it is Robert Downey Jr. is with a partner. They they're robbing a store. He runs into this audition running from the cops, and they think he's there to audition. And he starts acting out. He starts losing it because I believe his partner got shot and killed, uh,
Uh,
and they think he's acting. So he ends up with his acting job, and then gets I forget what Val Kilmer's name is, his character, but he's this gay bodyguard. Which again, it's part. I'm saying it because it's part of the fucking, and it's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. Now
yeah.
I'm not going to put it high up as a Christmas movie. I might even leave it below Home Alone because I didn't even think of it as a Christmas movie.
Right.
But I saw it there and I was like, you know what? I need to go rewatch this again just because it was that good. And if I can get 20 people that maybe have never seen it go, hey, you know what? I should go watch this. Robert Downey Jr. is really good in it. Like you really get to see how good of an actor he actually is. Gay Perry. That's, yeah, I think that is Gay Perry. I think you are right, Eric. Uh and look, Largo Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is good stuff. I forgot about that one. Um, even though I have never seen two of Largo's three favorite movies, he seems to be a very good judge of characters when it comes to movies. Like I feel like he actually judges the movie.
Yep.
Uh, yeah. Oh my god, Eric, I didn't even put that on there. So, oops. I forgot Iron Man 3 was a Christmas movie.
I would not put it in a Christmas movie category. You know what? Crucify me, whatever.
Well, it's not on here, so
I thought Iron Man 3 was better than Iron Man 2, but
um
it went back to his roots, and that's more what I liked about it.
here's what I'm gonna say about Iron Man 3. And I said this during the whole I remember talking to I think Andrew about it. He was big in Iron Man. But during the whole Infinity Saga, Iron Man 3 is the most standalone movie of all the except for maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, which ended up being pulled in. But Iron Man
Right.
3 is the most standalone one. It is
Yep.
just it is like that special edition comic that yeah, eventually like they will reference those, what happens in it, but it has nothing to do with anything else that's going on in the universe.
I know I'm not the only one. I know they screw up the Extremis story. I understand that, but the characters, the way they behaved in that movie, I thought was better than Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 had some pretty good I like Iron Man 2. A lot of it had to do with Andrew and he loved Iron Man. Um, but when he does that um the suitcase suit that he does, oh my god, Andrew would imitate it. I really did enjoy that. But and I think Mickey Rourke, unfortunately, I don't think he was used enough. I will admit that.
I agree. I liked Mickey Rourke's character. I thought they could have done a lot more with what he was
And
doing.
why have we never seen Justin Hammer again? Like that is a huge plot that you're like.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. What makes me really mad about what they did later with the Iron Patriot is the fact that Norman Osborn was the Iron Patriot. So you had the Green Goblin being Iron Man as an alternate Avengers when you had a whole bunch of bad guys. I mean, Bullseye was Hawkeye. They replaced all the Avengers with with the bad guys because Norman Osborn was in charge of it and Justin Hammer was behind all of the technology.
Yeah, but the whole Iron Patriot back and forth was really funny, where he's like, especially when he gets the password and it's
Oh yeah,
War Machine rocks. All right, so I'm gonna say we leave Kiss Kiss Bang Bang right here. Again, I don't really think of it as a Christmas movie. It just populated, and I was like, I really liked the movie in general. So
yeah.
Okay, I have seen Scrooged. It's been a long time. I love
this movie. We just watched it last night. I think it's a lot of fun.
When Bill Murray wants to do a good movie, Bill Murray does a good movie. When he wants to be a good actor, I had never seen Groundhog Day. I had seen like parts of it. I finally actually sat down and watched it a few months ago, and I'm like, this is brilliant.
Groundhog Day is amazing. What about Bob? I was shocked about What About Bob.
I don't know if I've ever seen What About Bob, and if I have, it's been a long time.
It is a huge departure from everything that Bill Murray has done. What About Bob, Lost in Translation, Scrooge, Ghostbusters? These are like my Bill Murray movies that I really liked him in. Lost in Translation was funny because if you actually speak and understand Japanese, that movie's even funnier than what they translated it as.
So I think what makes Scrooge so good is that Bill Murray is completely believable as being that type of person.
Absolutely. And you know that all of his brothers are in this movie.
Yeah. I also found out that his one brother, I believe, is the guy from One Crazy Summer.
Yes.
Which I did not know until I was reading something on it, and I was like, oh my God, that's his brother? He was in One Crazy Summer, which nobody knows One Crazy Summer because they just know Better Off Dead.
Oh, One Crazy Summer is awesome. I love Better Off Dead too, but One Crazy Summer is amazing.
I know, but it's the one that gets left behind.
It is.
And I don't know why, because it's so good.
It fits in the John Cusack trilogy.
Yes. Although I don't think he likes it. I don't think he likes it. That's it actually wasn't even showing on his IMDb when I was looking for it.
Really?
It was this was like because I wanted to show.
Oh, you're right, because we were talking about this a while ago, and that's why I went back and found the DVD for it and watched it again.
Yeah, I ended up finding it on I think iTunes to buy it.
Yep.
And I love One Crazy Summer.
No, that's a great movie.
If you like Better Off Dead, and then again, I don't know why we're talking about this now, but
we need to do that movie then. We need to do One Crazy Summer.
We discussed that right at the beginning. That's one. So anyway, again,
Zombieland is awesome too. Love Zombieland.
I have seen Zombieland.
Zombieland's great.
But again, I think one of the biggest things about Bill Murray is you can see him as a nice guy and you can see him as a prick.
Yeah, and so here's the dichotomy of it. I mean, you hear all these stories or you learn about some of the stuff that he did, and he was a total prick to like everybody he's ever worked with. But you hear about the other side of the stories where he refused to do Ghostbusters 2 unless Ernie Hudson was in it. And so he fought for his fellow actors to get the roles that they deserved, because he said this isn't a Ghostbusters movie without Ernie Hudson in it. And so he basically protested until the studio decided, okay, we'll bring Ernie back, because they didn't want to. And I don't know why they decided that, but he took a stand on that. And so he stands up for his friends. So you hear both sides of stories.
February 2nd is my birthday, so I have to watch Groundhog Day every year. It's the law. Hold on, I gotta look something up really quick. What is February 2nd? Oh, it's a Tuesday. No wait, that's December. That's January. I don't know what I'm on.
But I loved also in Scrooge. If you look in the background, every single actor in this movie in the background is somebody you recognize from something else. I mean, you've got Bobcat Goldthwait looking nothing like Bobcat Goldthwait in it. You've got all of his brothers. You have so many different character actors throughout this entire movie, from the guy who plays his former boss as the dead man, to his current boss, to the stage hands, the people coming up with the mouse on the ears. They're all well-known Hollywood people. And I love Karen Allen. I mean, her smile, and I love her eyes and her smile. And she was underutilized. I don't know if she didn't want to work or what the thought process was, because of Raiders of the Lost Ark and this movie are some of the best movies that she's ever made. But I really liked her in those. Carol Kane. Oh yeah. So here's a story for you down south. Carol Kane had PTSD from filming this scene with Bill Murray, because she actually hit him with that toaster several times and actually kicked him in the groin a couple of times. So she was doing her little dance thing, and the producer came by and said they were trying to hire a stunt double to do all the dance stuff. And they said, no, you have to let Carol do it. It's so bad. You have to put it in the movie. And to make her do that scene, and then she actually beat the crap out of Bill Murray, and she felt so bad about every time she hit him, it makes those scenes even funnier.
All right. So where would we put Scrooge looking at what we have here?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I'm going to say above Gremlins.
I'm going to say above Gremlins also.
You say above?
Yes.
But below Die Hard?
I would put it above Die Hard, just because of the Christmas themes, but definitely below the Santa Claus.
So okay, so down south is saying number 3 for him. Largo is saying 4 or 5, so this ends up on 5. Now, I do think it's going to get pushed down past this because there's still a few big ones. But as of now, I mean, I'm okay with leaving it here.
Yeah,
I believe Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I just don't think it's a great Christmas movie.
I agreed. Absolutely.
When we do action movies,
it's right up there, man.
All right, Bad Santa I've never seen. I'm just gonna flat out say it.
I have not seen this one either.
Okay, it's gonna be a short one to talk about then.
The whole premise didn't appeal to me. Again, it seems like a mean, negative kind of Christmas story. It may not be. I don't know, but you call it Bad Santa. I didn't have much interest.
I do know that this elf here is the one that knocked up Jim Carrey's wife in Me, Myself, and Irene. Right? So I do like him because, oh my God, Me, Myself, and Irene. If you haven't seen Me, Myself, and Irene, you are a disservice to yourself. All right? There is nothing politically correct about that movie.
Oh no, not that. Yeah.
I like the actor at times, Billy Bob Thornton, with certain things, but for the most, I just think he's just like a douchebag. He's just,
he's played some great roles. I love him in Armageddon. I love him in Brother, Where Art Thou? There's a lot of good roles that he's had.
Bad Santa is a guilty pleasure, very dark humor, but worth a watch. Mel Gibson is here somewhere. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty far bound, but so I haven't seen this movie. I have no interest in seeing this movie. It does have Santa in it, so I put it above Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I would not put it above Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Okay, I'm not going to argue then. I mean, so far, Largo is the only one, and You know, then I say all these nice things about Largo, and I'm like, it seems like his ideas on movies are pretty good. And then he's like, it's a guilty pleasure. But hey, I have a lot of guilty pleasures too that some
Hey,
people might look and
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the guilty pleasures. You enjoy watching stuff just because there's something about it that catches your interest, and it's awesome to you for whatever reason, and that's awesome. I just don't know that it belongs on this list.
and I'll say this. I may talk about the Care Bears, but guilty pleasure. If you start talking to me about 90210, you're gonna be like, why does this guy know so much about that stupid fucking show?
You know what? I do have several guilty pleasures of my own. I know there's some terrible stuff that I like to watch on a regular basis.
All right, so we'll leave it at 12 because
Yeah.
I don't care. And no one else seems to care either.
Not too much.
Okay, I don't remember if I've ever seen Ernest Saves Christmas. I remember all the Ernest movies. I don't remember any of the Ernest movies, if that makes sense.
So Ernest as a character, I knew about as a kid. I saw him on some things. I don't remember ever actually watching any of his movies.
Exactly.
Not a single one. And last year, we watched this one because we were looking for Christmas movies to watch and things that maybe we hadn't seen. And so we watched it. And I mean, it's fine.
Like, I'm with you. Like, there was one Ernest movie that I saw. I don't remember which one it was. But
Ernest Goes to Camp was the only one I think I remember seeing actually in the
I
time
can't
frame.
even tell you which one it was. It might have been Camp. But if you lined up a bunch of actors and he was in there, I would know exactly who it is.
Oh yeah, Ernest P. Worrell. I know him.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but I remember it. I don't, and he had movie after movie after movie after movie. He was putting them out like every 6 months, it seemed.
Well, he did a bunch of them, but Largo, I agree, he was funny as the commercial character, but not much for he didn't have enough character for a movie.
That's he had enough for like 80 of them.
Well, because they made them doesn't mean they did well or that he was good in them. But obviously, if they kept making them, they had to make a certain amount of money because I'm sure they could spend, $50,000 to $100,000 to make the movie and then make that money back.
Cedric the Entertainer keeps making movies, and there's no one that's less entertaining than that guy.
Oh, come on. He's somewhat funny.
Okay, you know what? He might be funnier than the guy that does Family Feud now. I can't stand that guy.
I don't. Harvey. Really?
Oh, God. So not funny.
Yeah.
God, every time I see him, I'm like, bring back Kearns.
Hey,
just kidding.
Bring back what's his name? Oh shoot, never mind.
Oh my gosh, Rufus! I'm not going to be able to not see this anymore. John Cena is like a giant Ernest. God damn it! I'm never going.
Rufus, I have always thought that. I thought, what the heck is this? Ernest P. Worrell just with muscles? What happened here?
And
you're not alone in that thought.
All right, so again, I can't remember seeing this. It's obviously a Christmas movie. I remember it, but I've never seen it. I would put it above Bad Santa. I would put it above Home Alone because I hate Home Alone that much.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I agree. It's more of a Christmas movie than Home Alone is because I have seen it, and I can say at least
Lethal Weapon.
No.
Okay, we're just gonna drop it there. I don't think there's enough love for that movie. All right.
Sorry, down south. I don't like Home Alone very much.
I'm sorry.
Drew Carey. Yes, Largo. That's who I was thinking of. Drew Carey. Whose line is it anyway? He did Family Feud for a little while too, I think.
No, he does The Price is Right.
Oh, okay. He took over from Bob.
Drew Carey is funny, and he's from Ohio, which is,
and he's from Ohio,
which is shocking.
So I loved Whose Line Is It Anyway, and I loved when he hosted that because he had Ryan Stiles on it and Diedrich Bader, and he had those guys in his TV show, the Drew Carey Show, which
Yes.
I actually really love that
Drew
show.
Carey was really good. That's one I like to go back and rewatch. And the thing,
and I love the end of the theme song, Ohio.
yeah, sucks. Exactly. But what I like about Drew Carey hosting Whose Line It Is Anyway is he wasn't always trying to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
He let them do it, and then at the end he would usually do a skit with them.
Yeah.
And again, those guys that were up there was 3 of them. They had amazing chemistry together.
Yeah, it was always Ryan Stiles, Diedrich Bader, and somebody else.
Who's the black guy?
Oh yeah.
The one that could sing. He could do everything.
He could sing. He was a really good singer, and yeah, no, he was cool. Wayne Brady, yes.
Wayne Brady, so good. Like those 3 together, they would just throw in someone else, and you're like, okay, it didn't matter who it was.
It didn't matter.
So, I love this movie. I love this movie from the first time that I saw it. When the reindeer smashes into the house, or is in the house. I don't think it's in the house and it destroys everything. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not a big Sinbad fan, but I thought he was amazing in this. And then when I say amazing, I mean they complemented each other very well.
They did. It was good chemistry. It really was.
And to me, this is one that you watch it the first time and you go, this is awful.
Yep.
And then when you watch it a second time, you go, oh God, this is so bad, it's good. And then the third time, you start catching the little things. Agreed. And then by the time that it's over, you have so many one-liners out of this. And I'm going to want to put this one up pretty high. Right? I'm not going to lie. So you guys are going to have to pull me down if you don't think so.
We're going to have to pull you down a little bit because it is very much a commercialized movie, but it is very much the reason why I don't like going out on Black Friday. I don't mind working on that day because I don't want to be out in any of that nonsense. And then what was it, 2019 or something like that, 2020, where they put out the Turbo Man action figure.
Yeah,
it was exactly like shown in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I am. I enjoy this movie. I'm going to put it just above Home Alone.
Well, it's going above Ernest.
Okay, yeah, no, okay, yeah.
Oh my God.
Ernest. Yeah,
I mean, I would put it above Lethal Weapon.
I can agree. Yes, I would put it above Lethal Weapon. I'll agree to that. Yeah.
I mean, sure. I will give you the Muppets, but in general, as you watch more and more, and here's the other thing: at the end of the movie, you get like the true like feeling of Christmas. Yes. His son hands the mailman, who we all know we hate the mail, trying to get toys delivered, especially here around Christmas time. When he realizes his dad is actually Turbo Man, he doesn't need the figure, And again, this is the same kid that, in the end, slaughters a bunch of kids. Well, his older self does.
Necessary Roughness is awesome. Love that movie. Definitely.
Which was Necessary Roughness?
That's the one about the North Texas football team. Come on, man. When I went to North Texas at one point in time, but they had a very extreme football team, and the football players laid in the middle of the street and had the cars drive by them, and it was interesting.
It's not the one with the female kicker, is it?
Yeah. Oh no. That was Goldie Hawn. That was a
no. Goldie Hawn was the coach.
Coach. Oh, that's different.
That's Wildcats.
Wildcats. Okay.
It's the game of all kings, better than diamond rings. It's football. That's all I remember of that movie. Oh, and Wesley Snipes was in it.
Yeah. I go back to Lost Boys with Bruce Willis. Anyway.
But I like this movie. And Down South said it at the end. It is a feel good movie.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I'd put it above Lethal Weapon.
See, oh, you can kick a football. That doesn't equate, but whatever. Um, uh, yeah. So, I like this movie, and you cannot watch, Geek Dead Life and not hear he got two. And when he uses he got two in the movie, it's awesome because then everyone goes after. All right, so I'm happy, and I even know this one will get moved down. But when I looked at it below all of these, it has like a 32% Rotten Tomatoes. But I love the damn movie.
No, it's better than that Rotten Tomatoes score for sure.
Again, it's one of those ones that I remember watching and we're like, this is awful. But then we watched it again, and then you're like, this is actually pretty damn funny.
Yes, they got in trouble for emulating that scene, but it actually did happen up there in Denton, Texas.
What happened?
The scene where they lay down in the middle of the street and like the whole football team and stuff. Yeah. Anyway,
I kind of wanted the Turbo Man action figure, but couldn't justify it. Largo, I'm with you 100% because I kept seeing it, and I even knew that like it was going for crazy money at the time. You just had to get it, and I was like walking into Walmart all the time after I dropped the kids off for school. I just couldn't get myself to do it.
I'd see it everywhere, and I thought to myself, you know what? If I see it on clearance for $5, I might pick it up.
So Down South saying that was the program. I remember
that may be. I know that Necessary Roughness was roughly based on it as well, but the program was probably the more accurate portrayal of the North Texas football team.
Yes, the Big Show was in it too. And so was the elf.
Yeah.
They were both in it. So all right. So the next one I have is The Polar Express.
I love the book. The movie is creepy as hell.
I don't read books, but I've seen the movie many times. I like that it's creepy. I really like this. I just, it has a very, like you said, it is a very positive movie.
Yeah.
A wonderful Christmas story. And it's one of those ones when it's on, I kind of sit down and watch it. And it also has the nerd from one of the nerds from Midnight Madness in it.
Yeah. Well, but most of the characters, well, I say most, a large portion of the characters are voiced by Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And knowing some stuff I know about Tom Hanks, I'm like, meh. But I don't care for this movie. I understand it's a good Christmas movie. I'll accept that. I'll put it on the list wherever you'd like to put it, but it's just not one that I like to go back to.
Really?
Like I said, I like the book. The book is better in my opinion. I thought that making a movie of it was just weird. My wife and daughter like it, so we watch it. But
okay, so Largo says the Polar Express movie is a perfect example of the uncanny valley.
Yes.
I don't understand. I don't understand that reference. Could you?
So the uncanny valley is when you make CGI characters, your eye will always be able to tell that it's fake. The uncanny valley is the difference between the emergence of is that real or is it fake? And so when you see something come across the screen that's CGI made, the uncanny valley tells your brain this isn't real. And so no matter how realistic it looks, it will never be quite right, and you won't be able to figure out why. And in this movie, even though it's animated, there's enough of that uncanny valley which makes it look creepy. That's the creepiness that I get from it, not the story. It's uncanny valley stuff.
No, that's exactly what I was saying. I don't think the story is creepy at all, but I like that. But that's what I for some And normally I wouldn't say that, but yeah, I like that creepiness to it. Um, Down South says, but it is Christmas as it gets. The end always gets me. The bell in the being able to hear it ring or not. I really do like this movie.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is a sliding scale.
I mean, he's made some great movies and stuff, but if you get into his personal stuff and things, it gets really weird. But
Well, again, it's kind of like Tom Cruise.
yeah, I mean, it's
Maybe it's
Hollywood.
Tom's.
It's Hollywood. I'm okay with putting it wherever you guys decide because I like it a little less than most people do.
As a Christmas movie, I would probably say that it's better than Jingle All the Way, but I don't have a problem with it below it. I mean, where do you guys think? I don't think it's going to be above the Muppets.
No, I think where you put it right there is probably about perfect. I think that fits.
Tom Cruise is, yeah, see that middle tooth. Once someone points it out, you cannot not see it.
Ever.
It is.
It's always there.
And when you see a picture where they draw the line down his nose and you're like, how did he get his tooth there? Like, oh man. All right. I think this might draw some controversy.
Yes.
What do you think of it?
I appreciate this movie and I enjoy it watching it now. I cannot stand the actor, and that takes me out of it. Having Peter Billingsley in it ups it for me a little bit. I think it has a good message overall. It is a good Christmas movie. It's just not one that I appreciate very much. But I know how much people love this movie.
I would put this one number one. I love this movie. I absolutely love this fucking movie. I also like Will Ferrell, and I know there are people that don't like Will Ferrell. And if you don't like Will Ferrell, you're not gonna like most of the movies that he's in. I love the fact that he won't do a sequel to it.
Yeah,
I love the fact
I
that
do love that.
He was scared to do this movie where he thought it was going to ruin everything. This movie basically is what kicked off Favreau's career. I know he did other movies, but this is what really he did like 3 movies right like all together. This was one of them, and he thought that this thing was going to kill it. The fact that this has become a classic, and I think it's hard for any movie to become a classic these days. I mean, it really is.
No, I agree. This one has become a classic.
This is one that it is on at Christmas, and you expect it on. For me, this would be number one. Now, I'm okay with it not being number one because I know there is a well, you already said that it's not your favorite.
I'm okay with it being ranked fairly high. What's our number one currently? What's the top of our list?
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation is still up number one.
There's really, I mean, as we scroll through, there was only 2 that I thought may beat that. You know, you have obviously A Christmas Story, which a lot of people, Tony will say that it's number one. But yeah, I again, to me, this is probably my favorite Christmas movie. But I understand it's not everyone's, and I'm not the end all be all.
I would put this on our list currently as we have it up there. I would put it at probably number 4.
Okay.
But, you know,
I'm okay with it being behind like 2 classics. You know, I mean, and putting something behind, you know, the movies that are top 3 right now, I don't think it's, you know, it's, again, if you're a hockey fan, you'll understand this. It's like when Steve Yzerman was like the 3rd best hockey player. He was behind, you know, Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. You're not saying he's bad.
Yeah.
You know, you're not saying he's bad. He's behind.
You're comparing him to those 2 guys that are amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Rufus still says number one is Christmas Vacation, and again, I didn't. I thought this was going to kind of be boom. Largo says number four. Like I said, Largo seems to have a pretty good grasp on
I agree.
some of these. Uh, you might have another fill-in when I can't do it. 'Cause I think Largo might fit in perfect.
I think I like Largo's content. I think he'd be fun to talk to.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, so okay, I think number four is fine. I think that this movie um it has so many good lines in it.
It does. It's grown on me over time. The more I watch it, the more I do like it. It just initially the Will Ferrell thing turned me off, and then as we progress, there's several Will Ferrell movies that I do like a whole lot. The Lego Movie and stuff like that.
Oh, it's
So
really. And when you see how they had to do like the force perspective,
yes,
like
that was awesome.
where it's like I was watching that whole thing, and I've tried just taking pictures like that, and you're like,
Yeah,
they did like scenes like that and you're seeing how far back they are. But just the fact that he was so stupid and didn't realize that he wasn't an elf, and
yeah.
everyone else knew it. Um, and what was it?
Well,
He's a cotton picket
and
nigga nugget. What was it?
yeah. But James Caan, Bob Newhart,
Oh,
um, Ed Asner. I mean, they got some amazing people to be in this movie, and Bob Newhart's role is perfect for him. I grew up watching the Newhart and Bob Newhart, the
all
show with Larry Darrell and his other brother Darrell and all that stuff.
right. So here's something creepy. Who plays his stepmom in this?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember who's the stepmom.
Oh, come on, she's a famous
What what
actress.
what was the name of the character?
I don't remember his
Yeah,
stepmom.
stepmom. Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, so
Are you talking about? No, Zoe was the love interest, right?
that was it. That was ends up being his girlfriend. So the stepmom. So in this, his stepmom, right? The actress that is his stepmom in Step Brothers. It's his mom, and Last Man on Earth. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
It's his lover. And I remember when I saw that, I was like, because he was only on for a couple episodes, and I was like, that is just really, really creepy.
That's creepy.
Um, but yeah, so she plays his stepmom in this, his mom in Step Brothers, and in I think it's The Last Man on Earth is what it's called. You know what TV show I'm talking about? It was
I think so.
really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It only lasted a few seasons, and then they
Yeah.
just canceled it.
Yeah.
Mary
Sternberg.
Sternberger. And then yeah, like I'm like, is she older? I mean, she's got to be older than him, right? Especially if she plays his mom. All right. So anyway, Elf gets fourth place, and I'm fine with it at fourth. I don't think it's going to stay there because I think there's another movie that's coming up that people are going to want higher. At there in Frosty the Snowman. It is a kids classic.
All right. So I mean, this is it for me, man. This is my mom's favorite holiday classic movie. This is one of my favorites. I absolutely love this movie in every way, shape, and form.
But how good of a movie? I mean, I have no problem putting it high, but do you think
It doesn't rank high. It's a classic song turned into a story that was interesting for children to watch. I think it's a wonderful movie for kids. Yeah, no, it never gets old, Eric. I agree. It's a classic. But in terms of a full narrative, a full movie, um, I think it mostly appeals to children, and I appreciate that. So it doesn't have to
Yeah,
rank very high for me, but I love it.
yeah, but again, I mean, it's all encompassing. I mean, again, I mean, when you look at some of these Christmas movies, you have to take yourself out of it and say
Yep.
maybe it's not a great adult one, but
Right.
Christmas is also for kids. So
Yep.
I have no problem. I mean, I wouldn't put this above Elf or maybe the Santa Claus. It is above Home Alone. I mean, like personally, I mean, I don't think it's as good as the Polar Express, but I'm gonna let you kind of give the call on what everyone else. Everyone else is kind of saying, um, well, and you know what? Those may come up in a little bit there. I kind of remember Frosty, but I don't. It's not one that stands out in my mind. I mean, I know I've seen it before, but not like Rudolph, where it stands out and dude wants to be a dentist and everything. Uh, so
Oh,
what do
you
you
guys are
think?
brutal.
Um,
Well, it's tough. I mean, for me, I'd put it above Polar Express.
okay,
Um, but that's
I,
where I'd rank it.
I'm
But
okay with that because,
I have this personal connection with it.
and you know what? That's what a lot of these Christmas movies are going to be anyway. That's what I mean. A lot of
Yeah.
movies are in general. I mean, and again, start. I mean, I already look at the top 10 here. I mean, you're really looking at very iconic movies. It kind of sucks because a lot of the movies that are at the end, you're gonna be like, yeah, they just belong there. and I just went like when I just cut and pasted everything, or I saved the pictures, it was just the order that I put them in. So, um,
So you make a good point. It's not a movie.
hey, well, it populated in great movies, so and it's in
I,
there.
I do love the fact that he yelled "Happy Birthday" every time he put the hat back on. Yes, it was a TV special, but it is with the holiday season, and it's one of those things you have to watch.
Well, I was also thinking, we could do like Christmas TV series, and then I was like,
Mm.
well, that would be the Santa Claus. I mean, there's not a lot of not a lot of series about.
Well, the day they saved Christmas, the Santa Claus, Frosty, Charlie Brown, the Grinch, the original Grinch.
Yeah.
Um, um, there's a whole bunch of made for TV specials that were done on Christmas, and that could go on for forever.
Yeah, but not like series. So,
Yeah.
all right, the Grinch.
I really like this interpretation. I thought Jim Carrey did an amazing job of interpreting this 20-minute cartoon into a full live action movie. I had a lot of fun with it. So many people think it's creepy. I think the creepiness serves the story. I like it. It doesn't bother me if it doesn't get ranked high because I know a lot of people hate this movie.
I think this. I think this movie is exactly what Christmas is. You hate Christmas as you're working your way towards it. You're building it up, and then when Christmas finally comes and you see your kids happy and your family happy, it's this relief. Everything is kind of released. I think Jim Carrey does a wonderful job. Jim Carrey can be very difficult to watch at times because sometimes he plays the exact same character, even though we've seen him do wonderful. Yeah, he has wonderful acting skills when he wants to.
Yeah.
He also can be very DeMilo. And Fire Marshal Frank. But I would put this up fairly high. We're just going to start with our Mendoza line. It definitely goes above Home Alone.
Yes.
is above Ernest. I would put it above Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
I would probably put it above Frosty, but
Yes, I would too.
I would put it above Jingle All the Way. Even though I like Jingle All the Way more, I probably put it above the Muppets, Gremlins.
I wouldn't put it above Gremlins. I would stop at Gremlins.
What does everyone else say here? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Fire Marshal Bill.
Listen, I go back and I watch some of those in Living Color skits.
I love those in Living Color skits. I used to have the first season on DVD. I love that show so much.
It was so good. Like that show was so damn good. Where did we say? Below Gremlins, above Gremlins.
What was the next one after Gremlins?
That was Die Hard.
I put it above Gremlins, below Die Hard.
Okay. Down south, same. Below Gremlins. Largo says original Grinch TV special is more nostalgic, but Grinch movie is pretty darn cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would agree on a lot of that.
I love the cartoon. I would rank the cartoon higher than the movie for sure, but I still really like the movie. And oh, you got me. I love this movie.
I hate this movie.
I think this is the best Batman movie that's ever been made. I don't think any Batman version has met what Batman is better than this movie. With the creepiness, with the darkness, with everything that's going on. As a Christmas movie, it's not really good as a Christmas movie. I put it in the Christmas category because I love to put it in the Christmas category. But no, it's going to be fairly low on the list.
I do not like this movie. I don't know why I don't like this movie. I do not like it. I saw it in the movie theater. I did not like it. I've tried watching it in the past because when people rave about it and I go and I watch it and I'm like, how can I love 89 so much? But then I watch this. I like all the actors in it, but I'm like, I do not like this movie.
You know, and like I was saying, this is in fairness. Let me clarify if I misspoke or people didn't understand me quite right. The best live action Batman movie, because the best Batman movie is Mask of the Phantasm, in my opinion. But that's another story.
and here's the other thing, and I'll say this completely honest. I've tried watching this movie because I want to like it. So I don't know what it is about. There's also again, you guys won't know, but there's my favorite skateboard team. Like the third video they put out, or no, the second video they put out, I hate it. I don't know why. It's amazing, but I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I've tried watching it, and I'm like, why do I hate this? Why do I hate this video so much? I wouldn't really assume. I wouldn't put this too much as a Christmas movie to begin with.
I wouldn't either. That's why I'm fine with it being down on the list. It doesn't bother me.
So, where would you put it?
I put it.
I don't hate it as much as fucking Home Alone.
I put it down. I'd put it lower than that. I'd probably.
Right.
Where are we at?
Well, we only have Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Bad Santa below it.
Right there. Yeah, right where you have it right now. Right. I put it right below Home Alone in terms of Christmas movies.
I just hate that movie. All right. I almost forgot that this is a Christmas movie, even though it's right there. I know this could be in either Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. I think it could fit in either category.
It can, but it really is more of a Christmas movie.
Yeah. But like you said, if we did a Halloween movie, I mean, this could be on it too. But I think it would rank higher as a Christmas movie than a Halloween movie. I mean, it's also in the name too.
Right.
I'm not I'm not a huge fan of movies like this, to be honest, but I do really appreciate this movie.
Yeah.
And the story in the end, again, it's like that premise of like them understanding what Christmas actually is.
Hmm.
Um, and everything, I mean, everything that goes into it, the whole animation, everything is amazing. So, um, what do you think?
I I I tend to like many of Tim Burton's movies. I love Danny Elfman's music as it's put in here. The voice acting I thought was really good. The storyline, I love it. Um, it's just not one of those iconic Christmas movies. For our family, it is because of what we go through, the things that we like. But this is going to be above Home Alone, but I don't know that it's going to be much further than that.
You said above Home Alone?
Yep.
I mean, I'd put it above Ernest Goes to Christmas. I'd put it above
Okay.
Lethal
Yep.
Weapon.
Yeah. I agree.
Um, as a movie, it's better than Polar Express, but is it a better Christmas movie than Polar Express?
It's not. I don't think it's a better Christmas movie than Polar Express.
Yeah, and that's and again, I mean, I really think it is a very good movie.
I love it.
And it's kind of funny that we just went from one Tim Burton movie to this one. I didn't even. I wasn't set up like that either. Um, yeah, it was not set up like that at all. Um, but yeah, like this movie, and again, I think him realizing what Christmas is, and just in general, how they had everything like separated in like in their realms, I think was really really good. So yeah,
Yep.
it's one of those, one of those ones that you just go, okay. So
Eric, don't say that 3 times in a row. You know you're asking for trouble if you do
trying to see how. Okay, all right. Santa Claus is coming to town.
that. I love all of the Rankin Bass films. I love everything in the storytelling, the animation, and how they do things. This is not a good movie.
You don't
I
like it?
love I love the stories that they tell. I do enjoy watching it and watching my kids watch it, my daughter watch it. Um, I do like this movie, but it doesn't inspire me like so many of the other movies do. It doesn't move me emotionally in terms of the Christmas spirit like so many of these other movies that we've talked about.
I can deal with that. This is the one if I'm thinking of the right one that I care for the least. And I feel like I did leave off Rudolph.
You did leave off Rudolph. Oh
Yeah.
man. Now
Like I said, it was gonna happen.
that's a travesty. You can't leave off Rudolph.
Well,
Yeah,
when you're
I
trying to
mean,
go through all you're
we even
going through all
talked
these
about it.
movies.
We put on Frosty the Snowman, but we didn't put on Rudolph. Come on.
Uh, and Rudolph is the one where he wants to be a dentist.
Rudolph is
Right?
the transmission allegory with the elf with the female ears and hair, but is the male presenting. Yes, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. He wants to be a dentist instead of a toy maker.
And,
There's a whole lot of
now,
allegory going on in that movie.
and right now I'm kicking myself because that was always I always liked that. I love that he wanted to be a dentist. So I'm kind of upset with myself. But hey, you know what? Shit happens. um, okay, so where would you put this?
I'd put it below Batman Returns.
Ooh, do you guys agree with that? I mean, it's very iconic.
No, it's not. Rudolph is iconic. This one hardly ever gets replayed. People don't really watch this one.
So you're putting it below. All right, you know what? You can. Okay, I'll let you do what you want.
Hey, I mean, it's not just me here. You're here too. I mean, you put up what you want.
Well, I'm letting you decide on this right now. Okay. So what do you have here?
Oh, I just put up that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to resolve that right now. I'm actually upset with myself that I forgot that one. So if I can figure out how to spell it. You guys can't see what I'm doing on the screen. That's all. I'm kind of doing the Chris McLeod thing right now, where
Oh yeah.
you can see.
Do we need to go to transition? Do we have the transition animation?
Yeah, I cannot believe. Honestly, I'm kicking myself because, yeah, this was the one that I wanted. Yeah, so now I gotta find.
That's a great set there. Yeah, dude, I love that Robot Chicken Christmas special. That's awesome too. With the falling out with that. The Rankin Bass stuff is just awesome. They did so many great things. I mean, hell, they created Thundercats. Yeah, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I hope a lot of people tell your friends about it. Come watch this.
What do you say? I can't.
So Eric says, so far this is the greatest Punk on Film Christmas episode ever. Yes, because it's the only Christmas episode we've done. But thank you, really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Okay, let me see if I can find it here. Everything's always so hard when you're trying to do. Everything's even harder when you're trying to do it
live. Yeah, doing it live doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't help things. Do it live, Jim.
I got like the worst picture ever too. It's gonna be all like staticky probably. Yep, this is what I do for hours and hours. Okay.
Tony, it didn't flag your comment. I missed it initially. There is nothing in that comment that would be flagged, but we are not going to highlight it. Thank you very much. We appreciate that, Tony.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't worry about it. Let's keep going.
All right. So anyway, Charlie Brown Christmas. Where'd he go?
So again,
no, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. No, we're not there. We're at Silent Night. I'm just gonna leave this one right here. I haven't seen this, but somebody put it in, and that's why I did it.
Yep, I have not seen this one either. I have no context for it. I don't really remember seeing the trailers for it. I don't know much about it.
I don't either. When I saw Silent Night, I had to look it up and make sure that it was an actual Christmas movie, because Silent Night could be anything. I understand song, but it could just be Silent Night. But no, it is it's not good. Not good. Well, I think again, somebody put it in the comment, and that's why I put it in there. But okay, we'll just leave it here, and we'll move on to Violent Night. Listen, when you put in best horror Christmas movies, this is the shit you get. All right? But somebody else put this in there, and I do remember this movie coming out just because of who the actor is. I'm going to put it above Silent Night just because of the actor.
Yep, I would agree. I haven't seen it. Don't care to see it. It's not on my list of things. Again, mean, brutal Christmas movies. Not really Christmas movies to me, but whatever.
I would put it above Bad Santa, even though I haven't seen any of them, just because I like the actor better than.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree.
This is right now what we're doing is the equivalent of the of the female in the office that is picking the NC2A brackets by how she likes the uniforms and the colors of the teams.
What, was it Tim the Toolman Taylor's wife Jill who picked her teams based on the animal representation?
Yeah, something like that. Eric, I don't think the 21 people here have seen it. All right, so we're going to move this one above Bad Santa. I'm sorry, Guilty Pleasure Largo, but I like this actor better than any of those. Wait, hold on. Violent Night is worth a watch. Brutal but good for what it is. Don't watch it with the kids.
And Jim, that's probably exactly what I've heard about it. I have some friends in the horror industry, and they really loved this movie. They thought it was great when it came out, just for the bloody horrorness of it. But it is what it is, and that's fine.
Yeah. All right. This one's going up high. And if someone says this needs to be number one, I wouldn't complain. This is so classic. The fact that they play it on a 24-hour loop, although I think they play Elf on a 24-hour loop too. But
the Christmas Story, this movie was the first time that an entire channel was dedicated to playing this movie 24/7 for like a week or something. I don't know what it was, but all day and Christmas they play this movie on TBS like every year. And this movie has a special place in my heart because my dad and I would watch this movie, and my dad would say, "That's exactly how Christmas was when I was a kid. This is exactly what happened in my neighborhood. These things." I mean, it was real to him, and that made it a connection to me and where he grew up in Minnesota, in that same time frame.
And I think what makes this movie, at least for me, even more special is that it was big. It was not that it was big in the 80s, but the 80s was when you're young and you're watching it. But it was made around that time. Yet it felt like it was made in the 60s.
Yep.
It felt like it was made in the time era that it was supposed to be done.
Yep.
And even to this day, if I sit down and watch it, that's what I think. Like, I think that it was done back then, and it wasn't.
Yep.
It was so well done. And there's really no slow parts to it. There's no parts you're like, this is just dumb. Everything has a purpose.
Yeah, I hear this a lot. That people, I mean, they like it, they appreciate it for what it is, but they hated it, they tolerated it. But it brings back memories. My dad loved it so much because they got all the details. My dad loved it because they got all the details right. And I think it was just like last year or something that Peter Billingsley came back and made a proper sequel, not the one that's A Christmas Story 2, which is garbage, but this was an actual sequel to it where they brought back the actors, the guy who played Scott Farkus and
who is going to be at Sergeant Red's in a couple weeks if you're in Michigan.
Nice. That's awesome. This one holds a really high place for me, but I do understand that a lot of people don't care for it or don't appreciate it or don't understand it or whatever it is. It is what it is. This one has a very high nostalgic spot for me.
And even if it wasn't a BB gun that you wanted, there was always that one toy that you wanted that your parents said you couldn't get. Now, for most people, it was the USS Flag. My parents didn't hate me like they hated you guys. So I got mine. Matter of fact, I don't know if there's anything I didn't get.
So I'll tell you this. One day, my dad and we sat down and we were talking, and I said I wanted a BB gun,
And he took me out to Bradley's, which is like a Target at the time, I guess. And we went through and we looked at a bunch of things, and there was this Daisy BB gun. And so we bought it, and we put up a cardboard box, a little piece of carpet behind it, a little target, and we would shoot the target through the box into the carpet so the BBs would all be caught. And then my mom came home and saw what we were doing and was pissed at my dad for buying me a BB gun and shooting it in the house.
So you know exactly the hate that your mom had, that my mom had when I got 8 shipwrecks before getting the aircraft carrier. Same thing. Same thing, except one, can shoot your eye out. One, Dad had to spend hours figuring out how to put it together.
I'll never forget that line. You'll shoot your eye out. You'll shoot your eye out.
And everyone kept saying it. That's what was so funny. Like it was like in the forced perspective of how they did it. It was just awesome. And when he puts the boot on him and pushes his face down.
I love all that stuff with the Santa Claus in there. And then there was a TikTok video just recently about a family where the kid actually did stick their tongue to a metal pole and got frozen on there.
That's what it does. I mean,
that's what it does.
How many times did you put your tongue on a ice cube and stick to it?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were many kids that did it. So where would you put this movie?
For me, it ranks really high. I know Roger Ebert didn't really like it when it first came out, but you know what, Snow Wolf? He changed his mind later because he understood later on what the zeitgeist was saying about it.
So I am okay with putting this from 5 and up, either below Elf or above Christmas Vacation. Even though it is not my favorite movie, I understand what it is. I believe it is an amazing movie. So,
Largo, I agree. That's pretty funny. Getting his tongue stuck to the pole. I did in fact almost shoot my eye out with one in my BB guns. Oh, nice. To me, I put it above Elf.
okay.
To me, it's above Elf, but
I disagree, but I'm okay with it because, like I said, it's like you're not knocking Elf by saying you think Christmas Story is better.
We have a lot of comments saying below Elf. So if you want to put it below Elf, that's okay.
Well, I like that. I like Largo. He's
yeah. I'm okay with that. That's fine by me.
Largo he seems to have this very nice presence and like what, like he has a demeanor of like, hey, there's logic behind it.
Yeah. No, I get it, and like I said, that's an emotional pull for me. Is why I would do that because of how I feel about Elf and how I feel about A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
So that's my nostalgia, my emotional connection to those things. But Largo and Down South 77, I'll be happy to accept putting that below Elf.
But like I said, I don't think you're putting it down if you put it below or just above Elf.
Yeah.
If it was below Home Alone, then yeah. All right, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Now again, this is a Christmas special.
Yeah.
I love this more than just about anything. This is probably my number one. This is how high I would put this one, but it's not a movie. So I get if you guys are going to chastise us on that. And I love it for the simple fact of Linus's speech at the end, when he just lays it all out there. This is what Christmas is. And then everybody switches on Charlie Brown and they realize, okay, hey, it's what we make of it. And they decorate the tree and they do this whole thing. This is one of the greatest Christmas specials ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've just never been a fan of Snoopy. I mean, the old Charlie Brown thing. I mean, I don't dislike it. I've just never been like so. I
Hey,
mean,
I
but,
always
but I know
felt
it's iconic. Like I understand.
I always felt like I was Charlie Brown. I was the guy getting beaten down and trying to do the right thing and be the good kid, but then all the other kids were tearing me up for it and moving that football as I'm trying to kick it and whatever.
Yeah. So again, where do you guys think? And again, I don't really have an issue with that. It's a Christmas special. You know that. I mean, again, you've seen the channel before, right? I mean, let's be honest. You know, we're not the the brightest people here, but I mean, obviously, I mean, I'm gonna put this thing up well above some of these,
Yeah.
just by how iconic it is, and the fact that it is Christmas. I just dropped it here, so it would be. So, what do you guys think about it?
Let's see.
I mean, Eric says another classic.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was talking about A Christmas Story. Charlie Brown Christmas music is awesome. Great story, and Snoopy and Woodstock. It's pretty high on my list. The problem is, it's like anything. When you start getting to the top, there's a huge, traffic jam.
Yeah.
And you have to start deciding, okay, well, should I is it better than some of these? For me, it's not above. I wouldn't even put it up this high. I'd have it below Jingle All the Way, but again, I understand how iconic it is.
I'd put it above Die Hard, but
and I have no problem with that.
What is this nonsense?
I can only imagine what your house is like.
It really is, Jim. I agree. I'd put it above Die Hard, but I think that's probably about as far as I go.
Yeah, I think I think if you start going up too high, I mean, you're looking at Scrooge, Santa Claus, which I think is very. I mean, it is on all the time. I mean, these are very. I mean, they become classics. Yeah. And like I said, it's hard to have a classic these days.
Yeah.
And even when you think of Elf, Elf is how old now? I mean, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
All right, so Fat Man. I haven't seen it. I think Mel Gibson is awesome, and I absolutely love Walter Goggins.
I have not seen this movie. Sorry. It is 20 years old. Elf is 20 years old.
Yeah, so, I mean, it became a classic really quick, but when you think about it, have there been any other movies that you would call classics since then? And I know it's hard to say that because they're so new, but
right.
But
I have no connection to this movie. I wanted to see it, but never got a chance to see it. I'm sure it was streaming on Netflix or something, and it's never got around to it.
I would say it's above, I'm just going to put it above Violent Night.
Yeah, it fits into that category perfectly.
Yes, but I really like Walter Goggins.
Yeah. And Mel too. So yeah.
And Walter Goggins has been in a few of the series that I love. Some of my favorite, Justified and The Shield. And Walter Goggins was also in a TV show called The Unicorn, which got canceled, but it was so good. It was an amazing character like he's never played before. Here is the issue, and and when I saw this is going to go back to the whole Will Ferrell thing. In The Shield, Vic Mackey, his boss, sleeps with a specific woman. That woman also ends up being Raylan Givens' ex-wife, who is in Justified. and then he ends up banging her in the Unicorn, which I'm like, hey, really? Like,
Now, the unicorn, is that the Brie Larson unicorn, or is that different?
so the Unicorn was a TV show where his wife has passed away. He has 2 daughters that he's raising, and
Okay.
he's not ready to date, but everyone's constantly trying to get him to date.
Gotcha.
It's fucking hilarious. Like
Okay.
like his group of friends, because they were friends with his wife and everything. Well, some were friends with him, some like the wives were friends. It's so good, and the fact that it got canceled just tells me that people don't know like what good television is, because it was a good wholesome thing.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Walter Meld Together sounds good. So yeah, probably better than Violent Night.
Yeah, random the Shield is it's odd that it just kind of popped up again on a YouTube with them talking about like making it and everything. It was it's if you like other cop movies or cop shows and you haven't watched The Shield, you need to watch The Shield. It is a hard watch at times because the stuff that they encounter and the stuff that they show may make you feel a little uneasy. And this isn't a secret now because it's almost 20 years old. Vic Mackey, I mean, they're crooked cops, but they're doing what's right, what they think is right. Um,
I think it's really interesting how the whole progression went from NYPD Blue to The Shield to Blue Bloods, and how you have these cop shows that are freaking amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, no, those are 3 amazing shows in my opinion.
and you know, I know people love The Wire, and I watched The Wire later on, which I think The Wire is good, but for me, I got annoyed with The Wire because I thought every season was so different, yet you had all the same characters. And I'm like, wait a minute, why is everyone like it's like it seemed like it was completely different. Maybe I could have to watch it again.
Yeah.
And I came into the Shield late, but
Mm.
I started watching it like last year again, and I got to some parts where now I have kids
Yeah.
at an older age, and I'm like, oh my god, this just makes me feel uneasy. But not because it was bad, but because of how it was written. And
Yeah.
if you haven't watched,
Did you ever see Blue Bloods?
I love Blue Bloods.
Okay.
I
Okay. Yeah.
love Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
A quick story about Blue Bloods is, I Andrew loves Psych, and so I would record Psych on TiVo, and I would have it clip like an extra 5 minutes. And Blue Bloods came on. It was either before or after. I don't remember. So I would see either the first few minutes of it or the last few minutes. And after watching a bunch of these psychs, I'm like, I feel like I know this show, but I've never watched it. And then I saw it was in season, I want to say 12 at the time. And I'm like, oh, it's all on Netflix. So from November into December, I binge watched the whole series. I don't remember if it was either on, maybe it was on season 9 had started. And they are long episodes, and there's like 21 to 23 episodes a season.
Wow.
I would watch like 3 episodes. I'd fall asleep, and then I had to figure out where I fell asleep. So I had to go back. It took me longer to get through it than it should have, but like they were long. I love Blue Bloods. But with that said, I don't know why anyone gets involved with that family. It is bad news.
Exactly.
Like, why are you dating anyone in that family? Why are you marrying anyone in that family? They're the only cops in New York that actually fire their weapon. And they do it all the time. Like they're the only ones to discharge their firearm. Okay. Krampus. Someone threw it on there. I know Krampus because of Mythic Legions or Four Horsemen. I didn't even know Krampus was a real thing. It's there. Does anyone want it above Violent Night or Fat Man? Because it's not going past there.
No. But if you have Rare Exports or Christmas Tale on here, I would put that one higher than those. But that's another Krampus story that was good.
Well, we only have one movie left, and that's the one I just added. So are we okay with leaving Krampus here? Like I said, someone put it in there, so I put it on there. When I started looking at like bad Christmas movies, I'm like, there's not a lot of bad Christmas movies.
No, they're really aren't.
Wow. Let's see here. So at the time, Sopranos had a big influence. I think it had something to do with the Shield being made. There was something.
Time frame, but yeah,
There was something about it because it was serialized. But Sean Ryan, who created it, was actually doing Angel, and they were talking about it. And he left Angel, and his wife was like, "Are you sure you want to leave it?" And he talked about how he did ride-alongs with some with police officers, and he kind of got aggravated that every police show was just like beginning to end, and they caught the bad guy and it was done. And he's like, it's not really how it was.
Right.
So yeah. So Largo says Krampus below Violent Night. Way
below.
Okay. Well,
Now, have any of you seen Sports: A Christmas Tale? Because
so
I think that's a really good movie with a bunch
here we
of
go.
kids. And
We can go down to 31. That's all I added. A bunch of blank spots for you, Largo.
Has anybody in the chat seen Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale? I'm just curious if anybody who's still watching has seen that, because that's it. To me, it's worth a watch. If you like some of those quirkier Christmas stories, and half of it's in Finnish, but they do translations and stuff because it was filmed over there. It was pretty cool, and it's also a Krampus story at the same time.
All right, so last movie, because I added it, and it was crazy. Like, it was there the whole time. So I had a friend that he said after he saw this movie, he wanted to be a dentist. Now, he never became a dentist. So I don't know what the purpose of him ever telling me this, but he said he was so influenced he wanted to be a dentist, but he never was. I love Rudolph. I feel like I could touch them and like they feel fuzzy. And what are your thoughts?
I love this movie. I loved watching it as a kid. I couldn't wait every year to watch this movie whenever it came on. And if my dad didn't want to watch it, I grabbed my sister's black and white TV and I'd go upstairs and watch it on her black and white TV. It became mine later.
Well, how you can't watch this on a black and white TV? His nose has to literally glow.
It still glows. It's just in black and white. Black and white doesn't negate light intensity. It's just color. But no, this is, I think, peak Rankin Bass. This is some of the best stuff that they ever made, even though they made Thundercats. I'm just saying. Anyway, this movie has so much to it and so many layers to it that you can peel apart. It's right up there with Charlie Brown and Frosty for me. Those three are the three that my kid was first introduced to for Christmas specials, and it's the ones that we watch every year as a family together. And I get upset if I don't get to watch it with my family.
Yeah, and for me, like, this was the best of the animated ones. Way better than Frosty. I'm just gonna drop it here for right now. Yeah. I think it's way better than Charlie Brown Christmas. This was the one that I always wanted to watch. This was the one when I saw at Perry Drug, or which is Rite Aid now, or Arbor, whatever drugstore you were at, when you saw the little knickknacks. Like, you wanted your mom to buy that and display that. Because every single character in here, even though I don't know all their names, I know them all. And they all have a purpose.
So I will say that I have 4 Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer specific Christmas decorations on my tree. We have an entire display of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer characters, and we have an inflatable out in front of our house with Rudolph, Santa Claus, all the reindeer, and the Bumble in the background. So, yeah, no, I definitely love this movie.
Yeah, like I said, I think down south. Well, Eric says there's anything like it. Down south says Rudolph is greater than Frosty. I would have to agree, and I
Yeah,
know you, and I know like I've talked to you enough. Just because you like something more doesn't mean that it's better. I like the first Thor movie. I don't think that is better than a lot of the other movies that came out. I just enjoy it.
yeah,
So for me, I would put this above Charlie Brown.
yep.
Um, would I put it above Scrooged? I think that if it was on, I would watch Rudolph over Scrooged.
Yes, I
Just
agree.
because to me, it's watching this, being at my grandmother's house, looking out, seeing snow on the ground, which we don't get in Michigan anymore at Christmas, but whatever. um, would I put above Santa Claus?
I don't know that I put it above Santa Claus. I put it above Scrooge, though.
I definitely would not put it above Christmas Story. So,
No.
I mean, I think I'm okay with it just being above Scrooged.
Yes. Yep. I think
Yeah,
that's a perfect spot for it.
and I really do think that this is something for the whole family. You would sit down and you're watching. It feels like Christmas. Like
Yep.
when I see this, I feel like it is like Christmas Eve or like you're off of school. Like you have no responsibilities, no worries. I mean, this is Christmas to me.
Eric, that's an interesting take.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you can go into all the things about Christmas is just a usurpation of the 12th Night Festival, the pagan festival, the fortnight festival, the solstice festivals, and just putting it all together because the tree representing the cross was a creation from the Catholic Church and all that kind of stuff. So, you dissect all this all you want, but it is what it is, and what it is now is a celebration of Christmas.
I'd have gone below Scrooge, but I'm watching these with my dog. No kids in the room, so I can't argue placement. Well, I think that about just sets our ranking. So, of the movies that I had thrown on here, and I think I got the majority of them, and the one that I didn't, I rectified. Do you have any issues with the placement? Like I said, if someone tells me Christmas Vacation is the best Christmas movie, I'm not going to argue.
I'm not going to argue with that. I don't personally agree. I think some of those classics rank higher than that for me, but I'm willing to say, yeah, it's a great movie. I love watching it. As an adult dad, I appreciate every level of that movie.
And anytime you see a house that is completely lit up, you think of Clark Griswold.
Well, we have been considered the Griswolds of our neighborhood for several years. I'm just saying. We have a pretty impressive outdoor Christmas display.
It's a lot easier to set up a nice Christmas display when it's 70 degrees out rather than when it's 20, the wind is blowing, and you're trying to put a stake in the ground and it's as hard as the brick on your fucking house.
True
I'm
enough.
just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, true enough. We
um,
also watch the Great Christmas Light Fight every year.
there's a friend of mine. She lives in a neighborhood, and everyone on her street decorates to the point where you just have cars lined up out the road going through it. and on the sidewalks they all have the big arches so people can walk through it, but they all shut it off at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And there's a couple houses she said that don't do it, or they can't. They have older people, so other people go and they decorate their house for them.
Oh
So
wow.
it doesn't take away from it. So
There's a whole street near us that does a complete light show. So much so that they do a display every year, and they direct traffic directly through it. Because I mean, you don't have to sell tickets, but they play radio station music,
Yeah.
and TV station, and you go through this entire neighborhood. An entire neighborhood does this, and it's freaking crazy. I thought I would maybe minor nitpicks, but that's a good-looking list. I just need to watch the ones that I haven't seen. Down South 77, awesome. That's what we want. We want you guys to go out and take advantage of some of these ideas. Eric Thurman, great show. Thank you for sticking around and helping us out and watch this.
and
Yeah.
here's another thing about Christmas lights I want to say.
You
And
see my tacky shirt?
the other thing about Christmas lights in general, if you've always lived in the South and you've never had snow, there's a different feel when you see the snow on the ground and the Christmas lights are actually starting to melt around the snow.
Yep.
Now with LED lights, you don't really get it nearly as much, but with the old halogen ones, they would start to, warm around it. It is very special looking.
Oh yeah, no, it looks totally different under snow. And growing up in the areas that I grew up with, and having lots of snow on the ground and having the lights out, it's incredible to see with that kind of display.
I
I
was in
think
my no.
Jim, I agree. I think we can all agree that Die Hard is indeed a Christmas movie with explosions.
Yeah, I was in Miami in December years ago, and palm trees with Christmas lights are just wrong.
It's just not right.
It's like
That's just not
there's
right.
so I
I
was like you just want to get out and go. That's just wrong. Why?
I understand you live in Florida, maybe you have to do it, but yeah, no.
Yeah,
Just
I
not
understand why you do it, but it's just wrong.
Eric, it puts you in the Christmas spirit. I'm so glad. I'm very happy to hear that. I might do lights tomorrow. I get mad at like something they're going to be selling on Broadway, Nashville next month. Well, you know what? This is two different hats. Okay, it's a Santa hat on top of my my Wyoming cowboy hat that my mom bought me. So 25 years ago. But it is nice to have that snow. This was fun. Thanks, Jim, for hanging out with us the whole time. We really appreciate you guys coming in, commenting, and engaging with us. Please tell your friends about it. I thought this was a really good stream. This ranking can cause a lot of conversation, and we appreciate that conversation. Come join us on the socials and discuss it some more.
Okay, so where can everyone find you at, Matthew?
I'm at Mamu's Action Figure blog on Instagram. You might see me posting stuff from time to time on some Facebook groups, but that's been getting really toxic lately, so I don't know how much more of that I'm going to be doing. Instagram is great. I do photos every day on action figures and stuff like that, so come check that out. That's pretty cool. And got jiu-jitsu this weekend, seminar, and some stuff after that, so it's going to be a fun season.
All right, and I'm Punk with Toys. If you don't know for some reason and you're here, I don't understand. But all the social medias are a Punk with Toys. So thank you guys all for joining. I had a great time. You guys seem very engaged tonight, which is wonderful. That's what we're looking for. So we will see everyone again Monday night. And I'm just going to tell you, I haven't done the thumbnail for it. The topic for Monday is toy swappers, fuck you. Bobby B got hit by a toy swapper on Amazon, and you know what? It's time to do. I don't think I've done that topic, but I need a
I don't
topic
understand
that's
how that
easy.
happens on Amazon. I don't understand how that happens on Amazon. I understand
don't
how
under-
it happens at Walmart.
I don't understand how you're a person that can fucking throw in garbage and send something back. If you can't afford it, there's no shame in it. Just don't do it. You're a shitty person. All right. Thank you guys all for
Really
showing up.
appreciate you. Thank you much.
Have a great night.